The sun had just barely made its way over the horizon, seeming to have woken up in a daze, possibly hungover. The clouds were rushing about, bunching up, breaking apart, and playing hide-and-seek with each other through the blue sky. A few dark stormheads lazily drudged about, here and there in the distance. The bus stop was actually just another section of the road. Nothing special to demark it, save for the large block capital letters painted directly onto the road itself. The matte white paint originally had a sharp, glaring contrast with the pitch-black tarmac, but, as things usually go in this country, no one bothered to maintain it. So the paint itself was badly chipped, layers of dirt and grit further distorted the writing. Dry leaves were all over the dusty tarmac, the scene was somewhat dishevelled, yet it held a beauty of its own. Man and nature sharing the same space, both pushing and... The cold breeze grew stronger as the rain swept over the bus stop. Strong gusts blew through the few trees, swaying them from side to side. A strong gust suddenly pushed some trees apart, across the road from where Ashan stood. Within the gust came a large bird that seemed almost to be swimming in the wind, like a fish in water. Its body was covered in oily black feathers, with light to dark blue markings on its body, and a coppery beak protruding from its head, which curved like a knife, gleaming in the meagre light. The bird's eyes were like small black beads that sometimes seemed to have thin bluish worms, tendrils if lightning, squirming in and around them. Its wings must have been easily the length of a small boat, each. The sight of it would send shivers down the spine of the toughest of men. However, this 14-year-old boy simply stood there. The thunderbirds were not that high in the sky, and often swooped down through the trees and buildings, but the people occasionally rushing past in their cars didn't seem to notice anything. About a good 5 minutes' run from the bus stop was a small white house with a miniature garden. It was just a few plants and flowers in small patches around the house. A few floor mats had been hanging from a low wall, before a woman ran out into the rain to pick them up. Her dark brown locks skipped about on her shoulders as she ran in her slightly tattered blouse. She looked to be in her late 30s or early 40s, with a few bulges on her stomach and waist. That would have been quite unsightly on most people, but on her only added to the friendly air about her, making her seem quite approachable. Someone who was just easy to get along with. The lady took a quick look at the sky before she turned around to head inside, carrying the floor mats in her arms. A thunderbird swooped down just then, aiming. These small, bald, absolutely ugly-looking things were the babies. Hat would eventually grow into majestic ringworms, terrifying and majestic creatures that no man would dare to even look in the eye. Spewing fire, tearing down mountains, crushing rocks as if it was mere sand. Ringworms are the very embodiments of fear. Ringworm larvae had a habit of attaching themselves onto people as a way to hide from predators until it grew into the stronger adult ringworm. How funny that such an ugly, vulnerable creature would one day grow into that frightening existence known as the ringworm. Well, except for this one. It just slid down the thunderbird's throat, after a few quick snaps of the bird's neck-ell, which thoroughly crushed all the larva's internal organs. Throughout the whole affair, the lady, who had unwittingly served up the meal, had absolutely no reaction to anything that the bird had done.